Hello, 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 fans, friends, followers. Thank you for stopping by, stepping in, sticking around. Be introducing a new game, City Skylines. This will just be a reminder of the commercial that I've been showing a couple videos of mine as I quickly run through that. But City Skylines is a city management, city building up type game. I've got 3 different cities as I present here, and this first video will simply be that city you just saw, Las Palmas. I'll be building that up for about an hour or less, and I'll speed through it. I'll have some comments, I'll make some mistakes, I'll talk it all over, and I will continue that series only while recording all the build that I'm doing with Las Palmas. There's 2 other cities as I introduced, and those will come up in future videos. So without further ado, sit back, enjoy, like, subscribe, and follow for more content. Thanks again for stopping by. And as I choose the first city here, I will be choosing new map, showing the difference between new game and scenarios there. This is before I got all my DLCs that I recently bought, or some of the DLCs that I purchased after. I gonna continue to try to build this city with you guys only while recording on YouTube. So everything you see, everything that gets 99% of what gets built in the city will be on this video. And I will try to do so with no DLC if it's possible. I've been in the process trying to figure out if I could play the game without DLC included. But at the time of this video, none of the DLC, just the base game. I was looking through different maps. So this is the screen as you go in from new game. You chose the new game option. You get the screen here. You look through these different screens, what's available for the base game. Notice to the right the availability of that particular map as different resources. There's oil on top, or the second down. Third down is agriculture, and the fourth down is lumber. Most of that's self-explanatory, just to explain. It also shows you the access to water, or how much water you have in that map. And then down below, you've got roadway, railroad, water, and sky connections. And then obviously whether or not it's tropical or whatever the theme is, and how much actual area is available for building. That down bottom, the very bottom is very important. You want to know how much area you have to actually work with in the map that you're choosing, and it's not the initial city map square you get. It's the entire map available surrounding the square you start with. Is, I believe, what that's referring. Actually, I think that's wrong. I think that is referring to just the city tile you're on, because it does change when you look at other city tiles. So here we are. We got the first city tile that I'm looking at now. And before I start, notice down below the first moments of the city, you pause. You don't have any citizens or sims or whatever they're called in this map at the moment. So, and that's pretty much your only source of income is sims, at least at the beginning. So you want to pause it, and then you want to look around, kind of get an idea of what you have to work with. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm looking at the different areas I will eventually grow to in the future, and I kind of get an idea of what direction I want to go. And that kind of tells me what I want to do with this first tile. If I want to build my city center here, if I just want to build, you're obviously going to always build residential, industrial, and commercial in any city center that you start with. It would be hard to grow a city without those 3 zones. But in the future, you would eventually redevelop your city as you grow and get bigger and bigger. You would slowly change roads, upgrade roads. You would slowly change your mind. So you kind of want to get an idea of what you're working with. And then here I'm laying the first road. I try to center it on the highway that's already there. I'm not necessarily trying to line up the roads with the highway. Instead, what I'm going to do is build a roundabout, and this is my first initial impression of the best entry to the city. I've actually since decided that there's something better, but as you can see, I'm engineering it as far as spacing it out. I'm trying to measure and figure out the size I need, and eventually I think 5 tiles from the end of the road that's already there, 10 tiles to the left, and I'm using the curve tool, and then 10 more tiles, so I get a perfect semicircle, a quarter circle, and then deleting that, and then I do another 10 tiles. So notice I went from 10 left and then 10 down, so now I go 10 down and 10 right, and each solid line is 10 mini tiles or small squares, and then each individual cut in the line, if you see how the line has little spaces, that's a single tile. So I'm going 10 down, 10 right, 10 left, all the way around the circle. I eventually will have a perfect circle. And I'll have a perfect circle with centered nodes in between. Now I could have done this in a small version, but when you do it in a small version, it limits how much space you have for roads. I like the big version because I like to do cut roads in one direction, especially with the highway. I've got the highway coming in, so I'm going to do the divided highway entering and exiting the circle. I'm going to do two-way roads on either end, and then I'll eventually have another divided highway continue the other end of the circle. But you won't see all that today. You just see the two side roads, main street side roads. So once it's built, you get the perfect circle. You want to go, and I don't know why I changed that. I think I'm going to change it back. It might have been an accident. Oh no, I don't. I don't know why I changed that, but that was kind of pointless. You just do the connection of the highway to not necessarily the center, but offset to the side, so there's room for both of them, and I kind of like consistency or uniformity, so I match it the same shape almost both ways. But you can do so if you know how I matched it one direction, you can reverse that in the same pattern in the opposite direction, and that's what I do here. And anytime I do a curve, if you want it to line up evenly with the, see, I don't know why I still don't know why I did the 2-lane. Hopefully I change that back. I don't know if I'd be able to at the moment, but the fact I changed that boggles me, but whatever. Moving on. At the moment, I'm doing all voiceover after edit because I've lost the first half of this video as voiceovers. But all this is in 2 speed. Sometimes it goes 3 or 4 speed depending on what the video is doing. So hopefully I'm able to keep up at pace. But all of this I'm doing from memory as the video is going on. But so you get the road, get the connections, get that started, and then from here I'm actually going to do a pathway in between, and this doesn't make much sense to many people, but it keeps the rest of the roundabout from changing. Anytime you add other roads to either sides, it will change the roundabout, sort of. It kind of reshapes the road because it thinks it's necessary, but if you do this this grid connection in between in the middle of the roundabout, it prevents it from reshaping the roundabout as you add roads to it. And then once you add the roads to it on all 4 sides, or at least 3 of the sides, I think, you can remove those paths in the middle. But those, you notice I'm using, actually I'm just using the dirt roadway. I don't have access to paths at the moment, I believe. But eventually I think you can go back in there. I like to put decorative walkways and decorative things, put trees and rocks and stuff like that, with walk paths and stuff like that in the middle of the circles, make a little small tourist trap kind of deal. If it's because it's large enough, you can, with the proper DLC, you can add gates, side gates and stuff like that, and make people pay for walking through if you wanted to do that. But right now I'm just trying to build the foundation of the city, so again, the dirt roads in the middle just to make sure there's no reshaping of the roundabout. And then I'm looking around, I'm trying to find out what direction I want to build. And you could go either way, but once you go in one way with residential and commercial, you want to go the other way with the industrial. You want to try to keep industrial away from residential commercial. Later on in the game, it's not that big of a deal because there's ways of cleaning it, and later smarter industrial force is not as polluted. But early on, it could be really bad pollution-wise, and You don't want to make your citizens sick in the beginning. So notice I'm doing 10, 20. I did 40 tiles out, I believe. Um, I was taking the zone. I think I'm taking the zone off, or I was thinking about taking the zone off. Anytime you lay that, if you want to change the zoning, that key on the far right with the line in the middle, the highway-looking line in the middle, and then the sidelines crossing, that's how you determine the zone, what's zoning, which side of which street. Um, if you ever find where you've got multiple streets close together or crossing each other, and you've got the zones conflicting with each other, trying to figure out which zone is going to go on which street, use that tool to limit the zones for one street, and then that way you can focus zones on particular streets and not all the streets. So you'll see me do that a lot, and just pointing that out so that you'll recognize it more. There I go. We've got the 3 roads at least. I'm deleting the middle stuff. I do keep the 1 just in case for later, so I know where the center is going down if I decide to use the center. I'm not always grid, but it's always good to at least start off with the foundation of a grid. And then if you decide to add curves and reshape neighborhoods and make things look awkward, to give your city a little bit more character, a little bit more beautification, and not just everything's a 5x5 grid in every direction, or 10x10, or 12x12, or whatever the grids shapes are. To me, cities look boring and mundane if they look the exact same shape, grid, direction, angles, whatever, all over the place. So in my other videos, as you see me continue to develop on my YouTube channel, more city skyline videos, you'll see me have a lot of cities will have a foundational grid to them, but then I'll mess up the grid with shapes, but I always use the grid to go back to what center points I want. So that's important. This early in the game, it's important to, depending on how if you want to try to organize your city from the very beginning, that's you do so now at the very beginning. Anyway, so laying the streets, you've got the squares. You notice that I'm zoning and I'm doing 11 tiles off. There's a reason why I'm doing 11 tiles off. The game always wants 10 tiles gaps, and that's why the solid 10 line is always there, which is very helpful. But I mainly use the 10 line just as a measurement of knowing how far I'm stretching a road. You can count by 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever, like I was doing a moment ago with the 4 lane being stretched. So the reason why I'm doing 11 gap, something I learned from, I think, Move the Mouse or possibly Yumble, one of the two, and I do appreciate both of their those YouTubers making videos. Something I learned from one of them or both of them is spacing it enough where you could put a walkway. So I'll put a walkway eventually in between those residential, and that way you can create multiple ways of your citizens to move around. That way they're not always focusing on driving. You don't want them all driving. That's how you get massive traffic problems. So moving on here with the video, I'm now making the industrial zone in the industrial side. Notice I haven't zoned anything yet. I'm not worried about putting houses down or any structure like that. I want a basic foundation to my city before I add anything to it. So first I'm going to lay out roads, then I'm going to lay out the power plant with power lines, and then I'm going to lay out the water. And the reason why is because you need those 3. In this game, this is not like SimCity. If anybody coming here from SimCity, this is totally the same thing as SimCity, and it's totally different. It's not the same thing as SimCity. It's the same idea in some ways, but my opinion, and I haven't played SimCity in a very long time. I last played SimCity 4 maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's been a while. City Skylines 1, the first one, is so much better than the best SimCity, I think. But with City Skylines, with SimCity, actually, you can place zones out anywhere you want without having roads, and then you can dig roads through the zones, and you can place the roads as big as they are, and all that, and it comes with its own issues, and it comes with its own conveniences. I remember all that. But in City Skylines, you can't place anything without a road. You have to have the road first, and then the road has to have the grid options. And you saw me at the beginning, as I mentioned, you can turn those grid options on or off, so you could dictate what's accessible on either side of the street, which street has driveways, and which street just passing through, etc., etc. But at the same time, when you're turning those on or off, you later on will come to a road and you want to place something, and you can't place something there because you actually turned that grid off. You told the road not to place a grid there, so you got to keep that in mind as well. So here I'm placing the foundation with the power plant. The only power you have available is either turbines or coal. Turbines will provide you a very small amount of power, as you saw me show there momentarily, and the power fluctuates on the turbines depending on how much wind pressure there is. How fast the wind is moving determines how fast the turbine moves, determines how much power it can produce. Notice it says 0 to 8 megawatts. So one turbine will produce 0 to 8. It's clean energy, it's not reliable. And that's why it's not reliable. It's got a range, and it depends on the environment. Coal, on the other hand, serious amounts of pollution. It's the first resource using power plant in the beginning of the game. Granted, without all the technology that you have in the future of the game, you're not going to have advanced power plants and options for clean energy. So you are going to be polluting your city with a lot of coal pollution. And that's why you want to put your coal power plant off to where the industrial side is. So at least it's combining the pollution with the rest of the industrial. Granted, one side of the city is going to be focused and dirty, and the other side is going to be nice and clean. That's kind of how it is in the beginning. You can, and it's just an option for you to consider if you decide, you can use multiple turbines and no coal, but you're just going to constantly add more turbines. So here I'm showing different options, placing zones. The fill zone, the fill option to the left of that radial does the entire zone left to right as long as everything's touching. And then I went to the large tool, and I'm just showing the different sizes of what you can expect to see. And then if you, and I intentionally did that, but if you decide to overlap or you didn't necessarily want everything that it covered, you go to the single tile and you can select specific tiles to zone, or if you're hitting, in the case of dezoning, if you hit the X, you can dezone it, which is the same thing as the far right zone tool option. You're dezoning. So basically you're deleting a zone, and you can delete zones with buildings in them. When the building realizes that the zone has been removed, the building itself will move out and then it will close down. Or you can dezone and then destroy it. If you destroy a building with the zone still there, it won't take them long to realize, hey, the zone's still there, I'm going to rebuild. So always remember, when destroying a building, if you don't want the building there, make sure you dezone it as well. Which is, again, X option if you have a zone selected, or the far right option to literally manually dezone everything. Here I'm zoning the industrial, which is of course the yellow, and in the beginning, this is probably my first time actually working with the limitations I had of early development. It's the second city, but I don't have my first city showing right now. You saw it on my preview, but my first city was Springdale, and I kept failing too much, so I ended up going all unlimited and had no limitations, and just played with the game and learned things and figured things out without limitations. So the first city I don't really take as seriously. I now use that as a research development, experimentation, try to figure things out, and then hopefully I can come and show you guys more informative information, more detail on these. Early on, I would not, if I know better now, but early on I would not have built such a large industrial zone. In fact, I wouldn't have built any industrial zone. I've now seen some YouTubers, they'll start with only residential, and they'll get the power plant in, and they'll build nothing else. And then when people start moving in, then you start adding water and electricity. So you let them actually figure out they can't turn the lights on. They don't have water coming out of their faucets. By the time they figure that out, hopefully you're putting those services. In the beginning, the reason why I was doing it this way is just I figured it's better to have the entire foundation, all the infrastructure set up in advance. So now with the water solution, or the water options, you got the water pumping station, and I will make a big mistake here momentarily. I thought it was better in the time I was playing the game and recording the actual video. I thought it was better to go with the water towers, But the difference between the pump and the drain pipe, obviously, the pump brings water into the city from a water source outside, and then the drain pipe will drop wastewater. So the water system compiles of two different pipelines, and you'll see once I'm developing them, one pipeline will be blue and one pipeline will be green. And obviously it should be self-explanatory, but the green pipe will be your wastewater, sewage water. So you obviously want to keep that separate from the freshwater line. And so it's basically what I was showing here when I was recording. You want to make sure when you're placing water pipes that your sewage pipe is downstream. So when I'm placing the water or the sewage pipe or the water intake, you'll notice, and I won't place it yet, but you'll notice here eventually there will be arrows in the water. Uh, if you're placing it with power and you don't want to direct power lines, use a single turbine. Will power at least 2 to 4 probably pipe systems at least. Um, but here's the mistake I'm making, and I'll realize it later on in the game, and you'll see how it's got more catastrophic effects than I anticipated. But I didn't have it up long enough to point out. But the towers are a lot more money than a single intake, and as you notice there, the tower is 3,500, and the intake is 2,500. So it might offset the difference in cost by the time you build all the pipes from the intake to the city. And so I thought by building the towers over there, I would have been able to save not having to build the pipes. Well, I still have to build the pipes for the drain. So when I realized that, I built the pipes to the drain, and then I built the pipes from the tower for the supply. But what I should have done is removed both towers and then gone back and added the intake. I eventually will do that by mid-video. But at the time of this recording, I thought I was playing it differently. I had a different intention, and so that's why I did that. Also notice there's too much of a gap there. Again, in my amateur building, I wasn't paying attention to the distance until I think now I might have noticed. So I realized, oh, it's better to go one, and that's the reason why I go 11 tiles in between. Besides having a trail in between the houses down the middle, you can also have just enough spacing for the water pipes to cover. And I am very, very, very picky. I don't know why I am, and you'll see me mention it multiple times throughout my videos. I am very picky about making sure my pipelines are underneath my roads. Why that is, I don't know. But in my theory, you're not going to build anything without a road. You're not going to have any structures anywhere without a road. And everywhere that has a structure is going to need water. So with me personally, water pipes and roads go hand in hand. I think they have to go together. I see a lot of YouTube video content creators, and nothing against you guys. I just don't necessarily think it's necessary to have water go way out in the middle of nowhere. The reason why I did there is because eventually notice it was lined up with the road. Eventually I'll have a road there on top of the pipe that's already there. We all do different things differently. You guys continue doing how you guys want to do your pipes. There is one thing I have taken from all the content creators, and that's keeping the pipes properly spaced. Usually, I don't think it was there. I didn't really plan the industrial side as much as I did the residential. Eventually, I think I'll fix that. Probably not in this video, but in future videos, I can remove some of the roads and rezone the industrial and fix that. But so I'm very picky about my pipes. My pipes have to be in the roads. Even now, I'm looking at it. It's angled off to one side or the other, and it's not fixing right. And I'm like, oh, that's not working right. Here I transition, I think, into the video with my voiceover. Alright, as we continue, made some changes and came back. I'm continuing the same that you guys saw me building already, up to the mistake. Notice now I have 3,000. I had initially a few minutes ago, before I continued this recording, I was up to 6,600 or something like that. So if you're looking at the map immediately, you can see some changes I made. I deleted some road from the residential area, and I'll go ahead and show that real quick. So I deleted some road from the residential area. Remember the back road back here, there was one more road. Um, and then I deleted some road over here, the nice little curve that I was all bragging about. And then I added some zone here, and I think I had zone here already. But as you can see now that the power lines is between the two zones, the power is still not connected, only because it takes a few minutes for the zones to build. But now that there are options for the power to connect, so I'll go ahead and play that and talk about a couple of the other mistakes that I also corrected. The water towers are now gone. That was my biggest mistake on financial, and I'll go and demonstrate that now. That was my mistake. I did not see that in the other guy. I just thought it was easier to put water towers closer, not have to build the pipes. But then when I realized, and I pointed out earlier this video, that I still needed the pipes for the um, drain pipe, that I should have just realized that building the drain pipe, I'd still need to build the pumping station. As you can see, the cost of the pumping station is only 2,500, whereas the cost of the drain pipe, or the water tower, is 3,500. I had two water towers. So besides that, I also deleted some of the pipes that were under the residential. Remember, I had the pipes extending down this road and then across away, so anybody that was on this side of the road over here was getting water. Obviously, I don't have that road there anymore, so I deleted that. The pipes that are there are covering enough of the zones that are going to develop. So because I still need the water supply, I did add the pump here. And as I said, the pump is upstream. So if I go and demonstrate real quick, the pump is upstream. All the water is going to flow downstream. So as the water comes out of the sewage, it will continue going down this direction. So in the future, if I decide to develop in this direction to my right, looking on the screen, if I did put more pipes down there, which I don't think I would because I've got pipes here already. I can feed off these pipes in the future. If I want to add more pipes, what I would do is add extra pumping stations here, line them up next to the pumping stations already there, and then add, if I need to, add more drains pipes here, line them up over here. So over here would get more polluted. Sooner or later I'll have a water treatment plant which helps dilute that pollution. But here's the blackouts are going to start dissipating. As you can see, I've now
Not
got
yet.
some power. Power lines are starting, houses are starting to build, and then um, once those houses are complete, they would distribute the power to the opposite side. It'll take me a moment. I realize that I didn't have enough power supply to the power lines. So those should start developing, all because this right here, um, this building right here that's being constructed. Nobody's moved in for working there yet, but no business is there yet. Once that's developed, the power will continue across. So in another moment, and then we can make things go speed up real quick.
Not quite.
Hold it down.
But I figured it out. Stick around.
And we'll see it speed
There's a lot
up
more
here
to
in a
come.
moment. The power plant should have water.
It does.
The power should be distributed, and it's not.
Wait for it. Wait for it. I go into fast mode trying to figure this out. But the issue is I expected the zones themselves carry the power. It took me a little bit to realize the zones don't actually carry the power unless there's structures in the zone. So it took me a few minutes to trial and error, troubleshoot, and I keep rebuilding the power line to different angles. But eventually the buildings will fill in, and I'll realize once the buildings fill in enough that the power is brought across. That can easily be remedied by simply building the power line straight from the power plant all the way across the zone. And that wouldn't have been an issue for me if I did that. But you'll notice again, I built and I expected, okay, new buildings there
are
we
coming
go.
in. So now that that icon went away, there is no more power problem there. It's going to distribute to here, and it will slowly start to grow.
Maybe.
Trying to slow it down till it's only one. There we go. I don't know how the power plant does not have water. I fixed that, I thought.
I haven't looked at the power plant yet, but it's not the water. It's not the power plant. It's the building next to it, and the pipe wasn't reaching it. It was reaching the side of it.
There's power going there. What is wrong with this?
It's just so funny watching me after the fact, because of how much more I know now. It's like I'm back in time. I wish I could just tell myself back in time. It's not that. Add more power. Actually, there's another issue coming up. There's another reason
Anytime you
why.
want to inspect something, you want to figure something out. It's not even the power plant that's short of water. It's the next thing next to it.
There you go. And it's half the building. It's almost like they put the toilets on the wrong side of the building. Go to the privy on the other side. There's water there. So I'm looking at the information.
Alright.
Here we go. Here we go.
And he even said, I still haven't looked at his name.
Move the mouse.
He even said this in his video. And thank you very much for the video you made. And thank you all for showing up, stepping in, sticking around, stopping by, and stepping. I'm gonna try that again. Stepping in, stopping by, sticking around.
There you go.
I know what my problem is though. Remember I was telling...
About the economy.
Remember I was telling...
Stop that.
I
want the economy.
Definitely messed up.
My controller's definitely messed up.
My budget.
Yep, everything's turned down.
So we're gonna now go.
I did that at the beginning to save the money.
I think. I don't think I want to go all the way up to 75. He does. I think 70 at a time. 20 at a time from 50.
And you all kind of figure out how you want to gauge it.
20 at
Just
a time.
depends on how much more
50
attention you
well
want to
for
pay.
water.
So, now it'll fix itself.
There it goes. I released the power, so now they're all turning on.
All of it? Yes, 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 yes. Except
we
for
are
water.
in business. It's about time. That's why that's out of water. Literally right on the edge. Share water with the power plant.
Like I said, go to the privy on the other side of the building.
I'm just gonna go halfway. You're gonna go halfway. Go right there. Slightly overlap. Right there. Now, if there's a building by itself, with a large solar plant opened, operators hoping for sunny solar plant.
You don't have it yet. It comes with later DLCs, but they kind of tease about stuff that the DLCs could have by having these little tweets and infomercials and stuff like that. Eventually, you'll realize you can turn on a radio, and the radio commercial will have like ads
There's a
about
tiny
solar
building
and
all
all
by
this
itself
weird stuff.
on one tile, right there, or right there, whatever, in between them two, which I don't think then it would be without water. But I believe if a building at least covers spots that are watered, and then maybe one tile not watered, the whole entire building would still get water. So I think that would be, and it's just because I'm trying to save. It's only 20 a pipe, but as little money as I have right now, you want to save that.
I still yet to confirm that, but
So
I believe that's
notice my debt is now reduced down to 200, minus 200.
245.
And it's actually getting reduced even more. It's minus 245. It was 260 something, now minus 245. So as I continue to grow, 233. Businesses are starting to open, minus 233. So I am digging my way out of debt. That number is getting smaller. I'm getting out of debt. Once I start getting out of debt, I'll start making money, adding to what I've got. If you, the developers of this game, I would like to add, and I noticed this in my previous game that I was playing, there are no city center districts.
Yes, there is.
There is a courthouse eventually. The courthouse will come along somewhere. I can't open the emergency services to look at it. The courthouse, I think, will come along with the police line. I'll get police department, I'll get jailhouse, and then I'll get courthouse, I think, or something like that.
No.
But there's no city hall, there's no... oh, by the way, I am now positive 103. Anyway,
all right.
So if you guys are just bored and you're like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
I want to do something, and I don't have a whole lot of money. What can I do? Check this out. Push that button, which is the... Down at the bottom right, there's a little camera. It's got the 2 boxes icon on the camera. That's the left options button on the Xbox joystick, bottom to the left of the Xbox symbol. So you push that, and then while in this screen, push and hold Y, come down and go to walk. I can now walk anywhere I put that icon. So if I put that icon right there, check that. I'm a lady apparently. It's random. It just randomly throws up anybody.
Actually, you can change it.
You're
I just
bored,
didn't know.
you're waiting for money to improve, increase, etc. Go walk your city. See what it looks like from your citizens' perspectives, and enjoy what you are making for yourself. This is your city to walk, so go enjoy the scenery. Go enjoy what you made. Which is kind of weird. Like I'm a brand new city. I have hardly no technology, and I've got some information technology board. I thought that was kind of weird. I saw that in my previous one. Not much to see or explore, but it is kind of cool just to go
The
see,
detail
to go
up
look,
close
to go walk around.
is amazing.
And you can drive too. Driving is kind of fanatic-y. I'll get to driving here in a minute. So while walking, you can also jump. Push A on the Xbox. It doesn't look like you're really jumping, but just jump. That's all you can do. Just makes you hop. You can climb some stairs, but not every building. So you're not climbing the stairs, you're just hopping. But you can even hop up on the roof. Yeah, buddy! You don't get hurt. I don't think there's any way to get hurt in here while walking. It's just cool to walk.
You don't even interact with anything.
Hello. I want that car. Apparently they don't follow law here. I don't have any police, but they don't follow law. People on bikes can't ride bikes.
I am the
don't know how to
police.
ride bikes. I think it'd be cool if they allowed you to actually choose vehicles. I can't walk up. It's not like
Again, you can.
It's not like Grand Theft Auto or anything. You can't walk up and push a button to get into the vehicle that I know of.
When walking or driving,
to actually drive a vehicle,
go right or
push
left
hold
on the
Y.
D-pad.
and then go to drive option, as you see on the screen. And
But I'll
then,
figure that out later.
So triggers, left trigger, zoom in and out. A? Yes, A is drive, and then left joystick is steer. The steering really sucks, and you can drive anywhere you want. Actually, wonder if you could drive off the property. What if I could drive off my city limits, the city border?
Wait for it. 3, 2, 1.
I hit a wall. Oh, there's no backup. Where'd my car go? There's no reverse.
Is there?
So the driving is limited. Be nice if there was reverse at least.
Is there? Yeah, wait for it.
And if you get lost, then you're driving through people's yards. What is this? A video about driving in SimCity, or is this not SimCity, but
It is not SimCity. That's an
Um,
insult.
City Skylines?
Sorry, City
Oh,
Skylines.
you can even watch a house being constructed. Ooh, let's go play in the construction yard. How many
Yeah,
kids
right.
want to go play in the construction yard, right?
Me?
Nope, I'm not gonna make it in time. It's already done. Almost. That's funny.
It's not much of a
I was
construction
basically
yard
standing
anyway.
on the house before it was completed.
It's a nice house.
When driving and you exit, you lose the car, but you can always get back. Like, it's not like it parked and you just walk away from the car. It's just the car is gone. To slow down, because there is no stop or reverse, to slow down, you just have
Wait.
to let go of the A. Hold the A, or just tap it periodically. Every few seconds, tap A. And you can zoom out a little bit if you want to get a wider look. Look, I got a green light. Go, 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 go. If you hold A, you speed up faster. If you tap A, you kind of cruise. You can hear in the background I'm
Go, go,
tapping
go, go.
A.
Ow!
Steering is crap.
Yeah.
Steering on this
Terrible.
is crap. Oh, I took out.
There goes
I'm the
newspaper
mayor of
stand.
my own city. I'm destroying it. Not intentionally. I just don't know what I'm doing. Most mayors have an entourage of people to drive them for them. Just tap everything. Go see how gnarly my industrial zone looks.
Gnarly.
That's what I was doing, and then I was probably going to end the video with this.
What is this? The 70s?
Turn, turn! Red. I can't stop! I don't have brakes!
Wait.
2, 1. Oh, you can stop. It's X. The whole time I kept thinking it was B. Alright, so there's X. X is B. X is stop. X is reverse.
Nice.
I'm reversing against oncoming traffic. If you're moving
I've got a
forward,
semi-truck
push
coming up
X
behind
to stop.
you. No, I
If
don't.
you already stopped, push X or hold X to reverse.
Okay, I'm having too much fun with this.
Yeah.
Way
That's
too
the whole
much
point
fun.
of this game, right?
Stick
It's
around.
any game. Just
Have
continue
fun.
having fun. Whatever you guys do to have fun. If you just enjoy building all day, build all day. But, you know, this is just another alternative to having fun. It's a shipping district.
Just a
This is
shipping
all your
yard.
mayors driving through here, so you all better mind me. I have the right of way, always. Right. How noisy it is. Holy cow. It is sound pollution, noise pollution. Can't hardly hear it in the sound effects of the video, but
I
it
wish
is
it was
there.
like
GTA. I wish they would literally take all the GTA elements
That
and put
would
that
be
here
awesome.
in City Skylines. Can you imagine building your own city and then just going causing all the ruckus you wanted to cause like GTA? That would be phenomenal. If you're a developer in this game, make it to where we can like literally stop. We
Literally,
can,
stop!
like go around, run around like GTA. Like missions, like in GTA you have quests and missions and stuff like that. Can you imagine building your own city? Building quests, missions and developing on all that. And then going in and playing it like GTA style. See if I do a 3-point turn. Nope.
It's like a 10-point turn.
I don't know how to drive.
Wow.
Yeah, someone revoked this guy's driver's license before he killed someone.
Wow.
How do I get out? Just kidding. Can't kill in this game. Again, it's just having fun with everything. I'll get back to seriousness in a minute just to close out the video. But besides driving, you can walk. You can change your pedestrian or your vehicle by simply going right or left on the D-pad. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I was trying to talk over myself. I don't realize that yet. So I'm a lady until I figure out otherwise. Lady driving your crap car. So I'm now making 685. I don't know what that is. What is that? Every 10 minutes? Every minute? Every second? It's not every second. I believe, but post edit, the economy rate and pop growth rate are down below. What does that compare to? That's a weekly. That's a weekly rate. But I'm at 3,000 now. So end game week. Add more. 420 people. Finally, one's positive. It's hard to get confirmation on that. Nobody answers me, but I think that's the weekly rating for both of those numbers mentioned. I go back to fast mode for a little bit, continue building a little bit, add a few more housing, streets, plumbing, and I'll do all that in fast mode for a minute, and then I'll slow back down and continue talking. But driving, you can change vehicles right or left. You start off with whatever basic vehicles are available in the game at this moment. Later on, you'll actually see me, and there's another video that I'll eventually do. I'll be driving a bus, and there's times I'll be driving like they are really populating. So let's get them water as they're building in. Those houses are going to start building. There's no homes yet. They're not complaining about no water. Remember, previously I went across this road right here. No need to do that. Go to this road and it will cover. You ran out of money already. I'm out of money. I'm crunching pennies because I built the road, and then some of you are going to be without water. Let's get some pipes as much as I can. Wait for it. So some of you are going to be out without water. Pay up. Move in, pay up, then you get your water. God, so bad. Right, I can't believe I said that. Eventually, you lay sewage as well. You got to put a landfill out for sewage. I won't have that yet until I think I reach 500 soon. Come on. It's not going to be much, but at least I'll get it to the edge, I think. Yeah. Add a few more, and then I think I go back to fast mode. I think I slowed it down just a little bit to explain that, but kind of just at this point in the game, you inch away a few pennies at a time, whatever it is to you, a few dollars at a time. Use what you can, inch away. You'll continue to grow a little bit here and there, and you'll continue to get more, as long as you keep your numbers green. If your numbers don't go green, figure out what the problem is, solve it, and then get your numbers back to green. Taxes. So I can change taxes. I'm not sure why, but a fellow that I watched previously indicated that 12% is the best. Move the mouse, I think was saying that. Best. So we're going to put everything 12%. I usually like to go less on home taxes. Get everybody, not now, less on residential taxes. Get everybody moving to my city. So make it cheap to live. Actually, yes, I do still do that. Medium on commercial, and then high taxes on industrial. So I might keep my residential at 12. That's the so-called sweet spot. Eventually, I'll push commercial to 15, give or take, and then I'll probably push industrial to 18 or 20%. Nope. And we shall see what that looks like in the future. That's not going to be likely. Today. We're going to come down here. Little did I know. We're going to have new. Let's drop this down to 60%. That way I only change it at 20 at a time. We'll start off 10% higher than normal. Change this down to 60%. That way I start off with 60% trash and medical. All this will be shown in my next video once I figure out myself how to do it in easier ways. I've done it previously on my other city. I've got some of those stuff already developed. But there's a better way of doing it than what I've done. What I've done was not working. Kind of. Let's increase roads to 60%. I don't think I've seen any roads falling apart. Let's increase that anyways. You don't want them to. And then we will go... No. I just wanted to change screens, not exit. I could get the loan now. I'll wait. Don't need it yet. Actually, I wanted to find the objectives. It's milestones. Smart guy. Bottom left if you're looking for it. Milestones. That's what I want. There it is. So as I opened it, I grabbed it. Today, just now, I unlocked taxes, loans, services for garbage, healthcare, and education. Some of this stuff I'll go over in my next landfill, clinic, elementary. So I'll probably go over all that in my next video, the next time I try to make a new video on this. With that said, I'm going to end that. Not quite, but it's coming soon. Oh, wait. Thanks again for stopping by, stepping in, sticking around. We will go over future and then what other stuff. There's ways of improving taxes. Like I've said at the beginning of the video, when your city's well developed, you can build an industry based on wood and ore. So this stuff out here, and why is there an abandoned? I did not put that house there. I did not put that house there. Yes, you did. I am not that Actually, no, cruel. I didn't. Yes, I am. That just must have come with the game. I don't know. There's stone and more ore. They're waiting for the water you promised 5 minutes ago. Go over it in the future. We'll see different ways of improving traffic control. Will be developed in future videos. We'll see this city develop as well. I'm probably going to put a nice big statue or park of some sort. Walking areas and trees and stuff like that here in the middle. That is a big circle. My objective. I'm going to build out this a little bit more. Eventually, I will have. Let's see what direction this was going in. I think it was this way. Where's the railroads? Somewhere there's a railroad left access. And you can't build railroads until you. Oh, there. I can see it at the edge of the screen. Way up there on the very top of the screen, or just north of the first lake, below the mountains, just past the lake and all the forest, that's a railroad. So once I can get my city zones to cover that railroad, I can build onto the railroad and into my city. So we'll go over that eventually, and I'll figure that out with you guys. So you'll see how I figure that out, any tips I've learned from it. But everything I learned comes from the one guy that I still have not figured out his name. But, Move the mouse. I will post it when his name mentioned him earlier. Pop up on the screen once or twice. But I also follow Biffa Plays and Yumbo. I just don't know his name. So thank you all for your videos. Again, thank you for helping me, stepping in, and I'm hoping to help others. And this is D-Man, Daddy D-Man 81 on YouTube signing out. Like, subscribe, follow. There'll be more content coming soon. I'll continue to do more videos on City Skylines. I really like this game. I recently bought the other DLC for City Skylines, including Parks, Life, Airports, Campus, Industries, and I think there's another one I can't think of my name. So I'll try to show other stuff with those videos, and I try to show at least my other 2 cities. Eventually I'll be developing other cities as well. So please, again, like, subscribe, and follow us for more future content. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jesus, for your mercy and grace upon my life. I pray all those who see this reach out to you one day. Thank you to the game developers of these games and more for the products you make. Keep up the good work. Last but certainly not least, thank you to all my fans, friends, and followers for stepping in, sticking around, and checking out these games with me. God bless.